Hey you guys, Mig here from Hopper Adventures. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Northern California. The weather that we've been looking for after three epic and one glorious one at Lake Sonoma. We're on to our series finale up in Lake County out of Lower Lake. Six Sigma, the series finale. So we'll go through this rider video, go over the routes, feed zones, registration, camping, all the essential details. Please note that when you see the hyperlinks in the video, they are not clickable. But when I send you the email, you will also have a link to this Google slideshow, and you'll have a link to the maps and other essential information. First thing to keep in mind is the venue layout. Again, these links are not live, but the Google map, Six Sigma map, short and long course will all be live links. So here are some of the things that we're going to go over for you. The first thing that's on people's mind is when they show up at Six Sigma, where will they go? They will follow the dirt road until they see the signs for the parking, camping, and parking. We'll have registration open from 5 to 7:30 Friday evening if you get up to camp, and then Saturday morning starting at 6:30. There's a parking fee of $10 per vehicle, not per person, so hopefully you guys can carpool. We'll have someone there in the morning collecting the $10, or you can Venmo to the account that's listed there. We'll talk about the bottle drop, starting and staging, and the feed zones. So I'm just going to move through the slides here. As a reminder, so registration 5 to 7:30 at Six Sigma, Saturday at 6:30. We'll have staging starting at 8:30, where we'll talk about the course, introduce the owners of Six Sigma to say howdy to you guys, and then we'll start in waves. This was a last minute decision as I was out working on the course, looking at all the creek crossings in the opening miles, 5 of them in the first 2 miles. So 9 a.m. pro men and women, as well as the under 19 up to 39 men. At 9:05, all age group women, and at 9:10, 40 plus men, 50 plus, and 60 plus. Along with that, at 9:10 will be everybody from the short course. Okay, so I will update that on these slides. But at 9:10, we'll have these age groups, and behind them, everybody doing the short course. If you want to leave a bottle, we'll have the specialized vans from Trailhouse, NorCal, and Bike Peddler only for the long course, and we'll be at mile 35. This is the venue for us. This right here is the lovely winery of Six Sigma. There's no parking here. This is parking for people that are coming in to taste at the winery. It's open during our event. This area right here is a nice grass area where we'll have registration and lunch. And along here is where we'll stage in the morning. The ride will head out east on the gravel road, heading out towards Asbill Creek. Now we're going to go over a little bit the long course and what to expect. So at the start here, we'll probably go 2.5 miles before hitting Morgan Valley Road. And it continues for about another 3 miles climbing. It turns into very good pavement. And for another 4 or 5 miles, the pavement continues to be good, where you will suddenly descend down into Knoxville, and the road turns pretty rugged, to say the least. It's much like the parts of Geysers Road, if you know that, where it's a bit beat up, the pavement sloughing and sloping. When it does turn to dirt, there's large potholes. And then we've moved the feed zone further to mile 35. I know it's far, but most of this is either flat or downhill in here, and it wouldn't make sense to have a feed zone where people are having to slow so much to get to it. So if you leave with 2 big bottles, you shouldn't have any problem getting to the feed zone after making a slight right. Enjoy the views of Berryessa. It is full to the brim and beyond. It is absolutely stunning out there. Then you'll continue on pavement here through Pope Valley, Etna Springs, and we'll have a feed zone for those need it at a mile 57. Okay. These are all remote roads. You do start to encounter a little more traffic as you get into Butts Canyon. And then the road to be careful on is Highway 29. I'm certain that there'll be a separation in the group. There's really no need to do anything dangerous riding single file here for these 5 miles on Highway 29. And then you turn right onto Spruce Grove with a really steep climb heading in to the finish. We'll show you on some other slides exactly what it looks like where you're heading to the finish. Now we're going to go over the creek crossings here. This is for everyone on the long course and the short course. And in a moment, we'll go back and look at what the short course looks like. This is the first creek crossing. It's muddy because I was standing in there, taking off this edge a little bit. I wouldn't recommend riding this section. It goes up to mid-thigh. It's probably not worth it, the very creek crossing in the day. To the left over here, it is rideable. It's probably only 6 to 8 inches deep. So if you're the first couple riders and you want to come around and ride there, that would be fine. Second creek crossing, we did a bunch of work on this. This was really rutted and rocky, so this should be no problem to ride. The third or fourth creek crossing, I can't remember which one this is. This is the fourth. This is another one where it's probably shallow enough to ride across. It's sandy at the bottom, so you'll have to make that decision at that point in the day. Now, as we get out onto Knoxville Road, all the creek crossings look like this. Notice that they pave them. The thing to be weary of, it is shallow to ride through. It is starting to build up some algae, which would be slippery. I did notice, because it's going to be a warm day, if some of you are out there just for the adventure and stroll, off the edges of some of these, there's certainly enough water to take a dip in. So if you want to take a swim, I would keep an eye out for those spots. This example what the road looks like out in Knoxville. As you can see, it's kind of rough pavement on the side that's turning into dirt, and there's some large potholes in the middle. These don't look so bad in the photo, but some of them are about, the diameter of the hole is probably, I don't know, 20 to 30 inches. It's enough to sink your whole wheel in there, and it's pretty deep. So be careful on those. Give riders in your group a heads up. So some of the pavement as we head out Morgan Valley. So notice how good the tarmac is. I was on Specialized Triggers. Ted was on some big knobbies, and Javi was on some 28s. As far as the tire choices, you don't need knobbies all day, except for the very beginning. So you could probably get away quite well with a large volume tire. It's a long day out there. I did not feel at any particular disadvantage of this, though I was not hanging on for dear life to people trying to drop me on a road bike. This is heading out to Pope Valley. Beautiful wildflowers. And at the finish, you can see this construction zone right around here is when you dive off of the road that's going to the winery onto this trail. And this is probably about a mile and a half to the finish. Let's look for a minute at the short course. As we mentioned, you start with the long folks, and when you get up here to Morgan Valley, the long course goes right, the short course goes left. We'll have a sign there. There's 3 places to be cautious on the short course. We're keeping track of people's times because that's fun, but there is no podium, so there's no need to ride recklessly. This is a 4-way stop light here in Lower Lake, and about a mile past this, there's a left onto Siegler Spring. So obey the stoplight here, and on the left here, be cautious and careful when making the turn. The feed zone is about mile 23. Let's see, we were marking it in reverse, but I believe that's about right from the start. Some beautiful gravel section through Big Canyon, And in Middletown, you turn left onto 29. So make sure that the coast is clear. So for both of these routes down below in your Google slideshow, there's a live link to these. It's also accurate on the webpage. When you finish on Spruce Grove, you'll be coming this direction. If you see my arrow, the cursor, rolling along Spruce Grove, a little bit off here, and into Six Sigma. It's the same way that you'll be driving in if you're coming from the south. You make a right onto the Ranch Road. Just as you get to where there's a lot of equipment and building supplies being stored, you will divert to the right off of the gravel road. It's kind of a wide double track, turns into a single track. And then there's a really nice scraped path that the folks at Six Sigma have made for the NorCal High School series. You go past the parking area just a bit, where you'll swoop around to the left, and you'll finish just before the road, right across from where we're having the after party. As always, huge thanks to all the folks who volunteered to help us out as marshals on the course. You will see them identified as such with the obligatory grin. Not really. We just have happy people out there. And of course, they'll be wearing Sportful. So if you have a rider in need, or if you're a rider in need, please let them know, and they will radio and get help, whether it's the EMT or somebody else out on course. We have, again, the yellow signs from Signarama. You're looking for caution, wrong way, and also for the arrows for the turns. Okay, it's not heavily marked, but every intersection will be marked. In addition, please make sure that you have the course downloaded so you don't end up in Fairfield or Napa or St. Helena mid part of the day, because that would be a long ride home. We'll give you a heads up with the 1 mile to each feed zone, as well as a mile to the finish. Afterwards, later in the day, if you've dropped off bottles, we'll have those for you. We'll have some merch for you, some last chance to get a Hopper t-shirt or a hat. A wonderful place to sit around and lounge. And thank you, Six Sigma, for both allowing us to have the event there at your beautiful property and for being the wine sponsors. So Six Sigma will have top wine for the top 3 in all grade groups overall, as well as for the top 3 male and female for the day. In addition, I forgot to mention, so you'll have a ticket for your lunch as you always do, and you'll have a ticket not for a beer, but for a glass of Chardonnay. So we're going to upscale the experience at the end of the day for the grand finale. And Matt Acarino will be cooking. Thanks, Matt. And we'll have the band Mr. December playing some live music, and Dimitri doing what he does with the disco music. Grab yourself a cold Sierra Nevada, non-alcoholic yerba mate guayaki, or a Best Day hazy IPA. And stick around for the podium. I hope everyone has the all-day fun ticket for this one and doesn't have to split. Don't forget, you can also camp Saturday night. They've got some world-class trails, so you can ride mountain bikes or ride your gravel bike there again. Okay. Besides the podium medals, which are world-class from Enduro, we'll have 2 riders, the man and woman, to cross the finish line closest to 2 p.m., but not over it, will win a new bottom bracket. So stop by to see Rick Sutton or Kurt Stockton at the booth. Paul will be there. Last chance to get your custom Sportful jerseys. Hopper, we have the Escape tee for $55 and the jersey for $75. And then after our main podium, we will have the overall series winner. Has to complete 4 or 5 grasshoppers, has to be there on Saturday, and the lowest score gets dropped. So I can't wait to see who pulls this jersey on at the end of the day. There's quite a battle in many of the age groups. Again, huge thanks to our title sponsors: Specialized, Sportful, Scratch Nutrition, Guayaki Yerba Mate, Enduro Bearings, Bicycle Law, Sinorama, Joji, Sierra Nevada, Burley, Oakley, Squirt, Goo, Bitchin, Burley, Arnott Roberts. So many. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the support of the hoppers. On our webpage, we'll have the results and we will have the photos for the finisher picks out there. So make sure you have I don't know, expectations. I don't know, a smile. They don't smile too much when they do. Best pictures are when you look natural in the moment. Anyways, we'll have a link for you guys to check that out at the end of the day. Once again, a huge thanks to the sponsors. We can't wait to see you folks out there. Stay tuned for any information either on the webpage, I'll keep you updated, or on the Instagram account. So that's it for now. Rubberside down. Have a safe trip up to Lake County. It's going to be warm out there. So plan ahead if you need shade for where your vehicle is, plenty of water, and sunscreen. Rubberside down. Fuerza.